Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is brought to you by BeSimply.
Stars, trees, clouds, and the moon. They all have a meaning and they look just like
Soul,
you.
Silence, and Sound. And I want to thank you all for joining us. This is Suzanne, and tonight we're diving into a lunar segment with the new moon that's arriving shortly here on the North American continent on the West Coast. And as we meet this juncture, there's a lot of information rising collectively for humanity. And this is an opportunity, if you so do wish, as it is every lunar cycle, to pause, listen for yourself, not for the mind control approach, but for yourself, because it's very unique. There's a nuance to it. And so today, as I give this Dharma talk to assist you in observing what's true for you and what you're ready to let go and shed and transform, I want you to take it as a context to add that onto your listening versus it being like, this is what's happening now. Sometimes that comes through, but this is really important right now because of all the energy. Many of you might have felt that last week, and there's more to come from the sun. So the sun and moons are really having some fun with the atmosphere and giving each and every one of us an energetic opportunity to release and let go of things. And some of it might feel a little tender as it comes up. And that's usually what happens around our new moon, that there's something to transcend, to release, to let go. And that's very personal. And so I encourage you to allow that to be personal, and rather than be so consumed on the outer world, be really present with your inner world. And that uniqueness is really important to remember, because sometimes we want to know that other people are like us, yet that can be a disservice to you. And that's, typically when teenagers, around teenage years, preteen and teen, they want to blend, they want to fit in developmentally. And society at large, I think, does this still, continues on doing this. However, if the introspection is focused from the inside out, presence on the inside out, then there's a lot of deeper understanding of knowing thyself, and a lot less of copying what other people are doing. And this happens, people disassociate from their body, from trauma. They disassociate from even understanding who they are. And so they look out to the world and decide, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be that. And I'm going to craft my life to look like this. And what also does this is our consumerism does this. They create trends to get larger amount of people to buy in. The beautiful thing that's happened up until this point is there's more and more of a freedom for people to really express themselves as they wish. And there's plenty of quote unquote market share, we'll say, for people to meet those needs of all the infinite number of beings that exist in this universe alone. So the amazing part of this is it's an opportunity, if you choose to really listen in for self and put down the devices that are trying to guide you to do something. The other day, I noticed on my device, they were trying to guide me to cut my hair to a bob. So very interesting. So that awareness is like, oh, the trickster's trying to force me to see if it can inspire me to do something by the power of putting certain things in front of me. And, then they find out, like they check later and look at what my hair looks like. And again, they're capturing all this data, unnecessary data, and kind of weird if you ask me. How this relates to your inner landscape is if you know yourself, then you can see that. Like in that moment, I was like, oh, they're trying to get me to cut my hair, and I'm sovereign. So I grab my inner knowing and say, no, I'm not cutting my hair. And then, who knows, they might start showing me other things as I'm recording this later about having long hair. And so the power of influence, that we have that word these days, is comes with a karmic debt. So to understand that anyone, even myself in this moment, by sharing some wisdom that you can apply while you listen to the new moon, there comes a responsibility. And right now, people, more than ever, especially in the last 5 years, have kind of gone rogue in the sense of just gathering and kind of taking that big gulp of information and claiming ownership and then marketing it out to the world as if they've embodied it. And so what we're going to start to see is we will see that dissonance become more and more evident. And right now, as a collective, as we're seeing more and more visibility of what has been happening and is being confirmed, this is just requiring yourself to do two things, like we talked about the last time, but to observe, not only to observe outside, but to observe on the inside. Because this information, as we continue to go through our phased awakening, and that will only lead to more and more awakenings, is you're given a new body of information on the inside about yourself if you're willing to look at that. And then you're also being given a lot of information on the outside if you're willing to look at that. And even if you don't want to delve into the bigger topics on the macro level, even in your immediate surroundings, there will be things that are shown to you that give you the opportunity to observe and then bring them into harmony with your inner landscape. And most importantly, bring your inner landscape in harmony with the outside world. And so I encourage you, if inspired, to take the time to deepen your observation from the inside out. And then that way, as you meet certain people, places, and things, and suggestions, influences, you will be more grounded who you are and what you've observed from within. And you can basically be like, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to participate in that. And that allows you to really come into an alchemical relationship with yourself that will magnetize to you your highest and potential in this lifetime, in this moment. This continues to evolve. It's not stagnant. And that's the thing we're seeing right now. We're at this like momentous moment of having confirmations for many people about the way it was and the way it is. And then with that new body of information, it's a time to observe, to integrate it. And then from there will be the pivot. Because I know on my own personal journey, new bodies of information have appeared throughout my entire life. And each time I get a new body of information, the responsibility lays on me to decide what I'm going to do with that information and how am I going to stay in harmony with my inner being as it relates to this outside world that I didn't necessarily agree to, but I'm a part of. And if you choose to be in harmony with your highest self, your eternal being, your divine being, you will find it easier to say the no thank yous. Now, the truth part is that a lot of beings here on the earth plane, because it's been designed that way, have held people up in places of superiority for no other reason than the manufacturing that was created to get everyone to look that way. And so this is where we have the opportunity to really soften our gaze and really go inward. And then what that does is then you start to have a greater awareness of what is, and the is the absolute truth to all things versus the smoke and mirrors that have been played out. And so how this impacts you as an individual is that, I've talked about this, I think, several times over the past annual solar cycle so far, but we create our own smoke and mirrors. And maybe we're, we are aspiring to do something. Maybe you're an athlete and you want to run in a marathon and you're aspiring to do that. And maybe along the way you didn't tell the truth about that. Maybe you never ran a marathon, but you said, I'm a marathon runner. And so I have run marathons. It's kind of a funny choice I made there, meaning I didn't lie about it. But the point is that that's how it could be. Like someone could tell all kinds of stories and never have done it, but they have the intention or the goal to do that. And so they twist and turn and create smokes and mirrors. And then in their mind, they're like, okay, eventually I'll get to that and I'll do that. But they're not really doing it. And that's what we're seeing kind of fall apart right now, is because in all facets of society, there has been smokes and mirrors and deception and manipulation and all these things. So rather than get too wild about it, unless you're in a position to protect someone that's being harmed, is to observe it. And even if you're in that situation, like a situation arises and you need to protect someone, really observe before you do that. And then from there, you want to quickly, in a 911 or just in everyday life, you want to integrate, give yourself a moment, whether it's a nanosecond or it's a few days, to integrate what you're observing and then to pivot from there. And that's what all these new bodies of information are going to require. And there's going to be a massive reorg in the universe very shortly. And so what that means for yourself is that depending on what smokes and mirrors that you have created from the inside out to the world, you're going to be polishing those mirrors. Maybe it becomes a clear piece of glass, whatever it is. And you'll be having your own reorg on the inside and really resonating with your beauty and your divinity and starting to let that be seen with the outside world. And for those that haven't even begun that process, they will begin it. And that's a time where we can have compassion and love for our brothers and sisters that are going to be going through their dark, dark night of the soul. And the plight would be that they would resurrect from the crimes that they've committed against themselves and others. And that might seem like a harsh word, but when we let ourselves down internally, we are actually creating a negative withdrawal on our eternal being versus a positive deposit, taking action that's for the benefit of self and others. And so I want you to sit with that. Like, where have I been tricking myself? Where have I been creating an illusion for the world outside? Where have I been doing this? Because the more radically honest we get with one another, the easier it is to be helpful to one another. When I teach in a clinic setting and I ask the patients, how they're doing, everyone in the room is having a whole different experience, yet we're all in the same space and we're going to be working together for that period of time. And this happens all day long in classrooms and offices. One person could be having a panic attack. The other person could be high as a kite, meaning like really happy, blissful, not on drugs, but it's all a whole variable. One person could be contemplating that they don't want to be here anymore. One person is thinking about their children. So when we look at this on a moment-to-moment basis all over the world, we are all traversing things that you can't imagine. And so when we learn to observe and do our own inner work and really say, okay, I'm going to drop these charades that I've created, these masks I've created, and start to be radically honest with myself and others in the world. And then people will feel that. They're going to feel it, and they're going to be able to see you. And that's one of the number one things people always, will ask. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. Well, it's usually because we've put up a veil in front of ourselves so we can't be seen. Or we're afraid to even be ourselves. So we're deceiving people by showing up in different identities. And so as we go into this next lunar cycle, this will be that opportunity to bring in these skills of observation and to give yourself the space to integrate before you decide to move in one direction or the other, or pivot in this great universe reorg that's going to be going on very shortly. And with that being said, I want to share that from an Eastern lens, a Buddhist lens, that they have Bodhisattva practices. And they're very sweet. It's like a 37 kind of aspirations that you can work towards. And I thought this one was really fitting for right now, because we are going to be in this period of letting go of our inner self and our outer self. And this is resonant of something that I did way back when, unbeknownst to me. But I had the innate knowing, the innate instinct that this was necessary. And this is what it's going to be like, because that where we've been deceived internally and externally, it's time to observe it, integrate what that was all about, and then pivot from it in a direction that's for the benefit of all. And so I'm going to read this from there, and it's going to be listed below so you can read it again. But it says, when evil companions are associated with, I put that in quotes, 3 poisons increase, the activities of listening, pondering, and meditation decline, and love and compassion are extinguished. Abandoning evil companions is the Bodhisattva's practice. And so I put in quotes evil, that's how it's written in the book that I have, is because in Buddhism, dualism, that would be good, evil, that's a dualistic point of view, but it gets the point across. People that are creating diminution, they're withdrawing from their own cosmic bank account and potentially yours, is to move away, because over space, eventually they will bring you to a place where you have extinguished love and compassion. And we've seen a lot of that over the past 5 years. And I would say over this past 50 some years or 80 some years, full throttle through all the wars and everything. And so what that means is that if you're idolizing someone that does, quote unquote, harmful things to other beings, that's, I don't care what your reason is, it means to move away from that. And so if you're doing harmful things to yourself, you want to get help and move away from that activity. And if you're hanging around other people that are doing harmful things, because this is what happens when people aren't respecting themselves, they do harmful things to themselves. Food, drugs, alcohol, sex, all, I don't know, consumerism, all kinds of things, stealing, all those things. They do those things and it degrades the system. And they tend to be around people that will do the same thing. And so it's to move away from that so that you can get back to what's important. And way back when I was in last year of high school and college, I'd gone through some very traumatic things and ended up, and this happens too when people have trauma, they end up in friend groups, they end up in situations that are usually very risky because the person that's gone through the trauma is not fully healed or hasn't processed or integrated. So sometimes they are a magnet for people that don't have the same value system as them. And that's purely because the individual has gone through trauma. And in that moment, a series of events happen. And I was like, I'm out of here. Like I told the person, the individual, this was a specific individual, that there was no benefit to our friendship. There was no benefit at all because of the things that this person was doing and the harm that was coming my way anytime I was around this individual. And so that's an example of how this works. And if you look at how many people have bought into the fact that they're entitled to harm someone in the name of whatever, that has degraded our society. So we are at that point where the cosmic being, the mama, is being this beautiful reflective mirror to all of us to remind us that we are best to move away, to pivot away from that which harms others and bring ourselves back to listening, pondering, meditation, receiving love and compassion, and giving love and compassion. So I will leave it there. And as we enter into this meditation portion of this segment, I really would like to encourage you just to let that all wash away. What needs to stick with you will stick with you. What you want to come back to, you can come back to. But let's just be present with this beautiful, sumptuous opportunity to be in silence together. So, if possible, bring yourself upright into a seated position. Up, 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 up. Drop the shoulders down. And then from there, you're going to take a nice, gentle breath in. And exhale out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. One more inhale. And exhale.
circle in the sun. circle in the sand. circle in the sun.
And gently from there, I welcome you to gently lean back and recline or move fully into Shavasana, a prone position on your back with your palms facing upward as we transition into receiving sound. As you settle in, just take a nice gentle breath into the heart and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then continue to follow your natural breathing pattern.
Ane, ane, ane,
Taking a soft, gentle breath in and out of your heart center. Gently breathing in and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Another one, inhale. And exhale. Taking a soft, gentle breath in and out. Just observing your natural breathing pattern. And taking a moment to give thanks, give gratitude for you creating the space to be here in this moment and for all aspects of yourself, your strengths and your jagged little edges. And then gently from there, if inspired, sending some kindness, compassion, gratitude out beyond your nexus, and share that with someone that you feel that it's needed, wanted, and welcomed. Good. And then gently from there, I want to remind you that we can be in this practice of this great reorg, if you will, internal reorganization and external, with love. And while a whole plethora of emotions more than likely will come up for yourself and others, as the moon is a watery and encourages us to transmute our emotions real time. And ideally, that's what we would be doing every single day. We would be always speaking when we need to speak. We would integrate and feel our emotions so they didn't become so big. We'll get better at that as we harmonize together as a society and well-being. And so right now, with all of this, you have the opportunity, one, when you make that integration, when you start to observe with a still love, like a unconditional love. And when you integrate with unconditional love, even if you're met with emotions, let that love be there. Divine love, not the graspy love, not the romantic love, not the lustful love, the divine love. And then when you realize what you need to realize that's unique to you, you can pivot with that energy, and that divinity will assist you in that process and flow. And then you'll see very clearly where the people, places, and things that are not aligned with who you are in this moment. Remember, this is going to shift and change. And so when people hold themselves to a level of superiority to another people or to a group of people, over a group of people, remember that they're more than likely going to go through some humbling, because we're all on our own individual journey. You come in alone, you'll leave alone, and everything we get to experience is so precious because it gives us the opportunity to refine, master, and transform. And right now, we're being given the opportunity, if you so to choose, to really clear out. And that helps a society, because if you have been in a position where you have ignored your own stuff on the inside and spent so much time projecting on the outside, there's some cleanup to do for all of us, I'm quite certain. And that will give you the courage and the knowing where you need to readjust in the outer world. So it's exciting times, so much possibilities within this. And so I encourage you just to create some space right now, maybe get out a journal, write. I have some questions below. I haven't written them, so I'm not going to say them. I don't do anything scripted. I'm organic as I can be every single moment in all aspects of my life, even with what I write and speak. But they're below when you're listening to this. But take some space and journal, write out what you're ready to not only release, but what you're ready to build, and what you want that to be fed with. Like, think of it like you're making a new painting or a new meal. What ingredients are a must to be there. And then as you move through this lunar cycle, be ready to observe, integrate, pivot, and stay in love. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to thank Kadri Scott, Random Rab, and Dante Marino for contributing in your own ways. And I also want you to stay a little bit longer to listen to Kadri Scott. And if inspired, support the arts in all forms, in all fashions, direct to the creators. It's really important. And this is part of that thing that we'll be pivoting from, is that we'll be going direct, and there's plenty to go around, and there's no need for envy or any of those things or competition, that we can have resonance and support one another in such a beautiful and abundant way moving forward. So until next time, this is Suzanne signing out with a full heart, a soft gaze, a deep bow, and a namaste. Be simply.